Hey, in this entire Chevron issue, I want to remind everyone that no one has sued Petroecuador for not cleaning up their share of the environmental damage that was done in their own country, particularly during the period that they were partnered with Texaco. Texaco completed its share of the environmental work, but those oil fields were left to the state-run Petroecuador. In fact, by the time of the departure of Texaco in 1992, in 1989, Texaco only owned 27% of the TexPet consortium that ran oil production in Ecuador. There is no documented ledger of Petroecuador establishing, commencing, and then maintaining, and then completing an environmental cleanup process. The consistent narrative has been that all of the environmental damage was done by Texaco, and Chevron inherited that problem when it bought Texaco in 2000, and then the keys, if you will, were officially handed over in 2005. But that's not true. Petroecuador has been the owner of an operation that has caused many oil spills in Ecuador, thousands of barrels of oil. And when it was discovered by the press, what did Ecuador do? Well, they did what was done between 2008 and 2013. They would point at Chevron. They did it. When in point of fact, Chevron didn't have any operations in Ecuador, wasn't even the indirect owner of operations with respect to oil in Ecuador, and therefore had no liability for any oil spills. In other words, Ecuador and Petroecuador lied. When I brought this to the attention of someone who represented Amazon Watch a few years ago, what I got back was, well, we'll sue them at some point. Well, when? When? That was, I believe, 2009 that I made that observation and asked when that was going to happen. 2010. This is 2018. It's been 8 years. No lawsuit has ever been filed. And yet, as seasoned and educated observers to this story are well aware, Steven Donziger cozied up to Rafael Correa, the president of Ecuador, and was allowed deep access into the Ecuadorian government in such a way that he even wrote the decision against Chevron on behalf of the Attorney General of Ecuador and the court. That's a fact, among others. So, for some particular reason, this thing just doesn't go away, and it may not for quite some time. And that's why it's really important to continue to introduce the truth around what is going on.